Indeed, I think Charles II. I mean, she had aristocratic forebears. Her father was in the Lifeguards. She mixed in royal circles from a very early age. Her father was the polo manager to King Charles.
For many years, Sarah Ferguson faced one controversy after another while keeping a cheerful attitude, using humor and confidence to move forward. However, in recent times, and especially after attention returned to her connection with Jeffrey Epstein, the stories linked to the former Duchess of York have become far more serious. Some of these claims have quietly circulated for a long time, while others are now being discussed openly for the first time. Today we are looking at 8 rumors about Sarah Ferguson that royal followers found impossible to ignore. One of the oldest rumors connected to her does not focus on Sarah directly, but instead involves her mother, Susan Brantes. Royal writer Andrew Loney has claimed that Prince Philip was involved in affairs during his marriage to Queen Elizabeth II, and that Susan Brantes was allegedly one of those women. Loney has stated that he supports this claim because his source was his wife Angela Loney, who grew up near the Ferguson family, and says the story was widely known in that area. One of the most troubling claims linked to Sarah Ferguson comes from Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell alleged that Sarah showed romantic interest in Jeffrey Epstein. She claimed she believed Sarah was attempting to attract Epstein and admitted she felt jealous, irritated, and pushed aside by the situation. Maxwell said she felt disrespected and described the relationship between Sarah Epstein and Prince Andrew as unusual. There is no independent proof to support this claim, and Sarah has never responded to it publicly. Even so, the rumor continues to circulate because it came from someone who is deeply connected to Epstein's inner circle.
Who've shown that she was staying at these properties for years after she claimed to have cut off links, including the doorman there. The doorman would all get dressed up when Fergie was staying. But yes, there's plenty of evidence that, I mean, £15,000 was nothing to Epstein, and to be honest, it's nothing for her.
Another set of allegations focuses on the money Sarah Ferguson accepted from Epstein and claims the amount was far greater than she ever admitted. In 2011, Sarah publicly confirmed that she took a £15,000 loan from Jeffrey Epstein to pay an assistant during a time of financial trouble. She later apologized and described the decision as a huge mistake in judgment. Soon after, rumors began spreading that the sum was much higher. Palace sources speaking to the Daily Mail claimed Sarah asked Epstein for money on multiple occasions. Andrew Loney later wrote in his book The Rise and Fall of the House of York that Sarah received hundreds of thousands of pounds from Epstein over the years. One source said Epstein eventually grew tired of the repeated requests and pulled away from both Sarah and Prince Andrew. Another rumor that continues to resurface involves claims that Sarah visited Epstein after he had already served time in prison. Epstein alleged in emails to his lawyer Paul Tweed that Sarah visited him in New York after his release and brought Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie with her. He claimed she celebrated his release and asked him to support her charities. Sarah has denied this claim, and both daughters have reportedly said they do not remember any such visit. However, flight records show that Sarah traveled with her daughters to Epstein's home in the Bahamas in 1998, which has kept the questions alive even many years later.
Let's talk about Fergie, if we can call her that. And we know that despite all the scandals and scams, she's always managed to bounce back. And there are reports that say, here we go again. Barely a fortnight after being kicked out of the royal family, the former Duchess of York is trumpeting plans to restore her battered reputation. Andrew, what more can you tell us about this?
Another rumor suggests that she may be preparing for a tell-all interview after being forced out of Royal Lodge. As Prince Andrew's reputation fell, speculation increased that Sarah Ferguson might eventually end her long public support. Some sources told the Daily Mail that Sarah would say whatever was needed to protect herself, while others believed her future was still closely linked to Andrew's. More recently, insiders told an online outlet that American media executives would welcome a carefully controlled interview that would allow Sarah to separate herself from Andrew without repeating the chaos of his Newsnight appearance. Although Sarah has continued to show public loyalty, sources suggested that if she ever had to choose between safeguarding Andrew or securing her own future, she would choose herself. The focus then turns to serious financial accusations. According to Andrew Loney, Sarah Ferguson's money troubles were not small mistakes, but severe and ongoing. He claimed she spent millions during her marriage on staff vacations, parties, flowers, and luxury shopping, often without planning how the costs would be covered. In April 1994, Coutts Bank reportedly demanded £500,000 within 14 days. Loney alleged that Queen Elizabeth II quietly stepped in several times to help Sarah, including paying that urgent debt, a claim often cited as a clear example of behind-the-scenes royal support.
From somebody who worked for Epstein and a member of the royal household, that the sum we should be talking about is about £2 million.
The Times asked this morning, is it game over for Fergie, the Duchess of Disaster?
One of the most surprising points in Loney's research is the claim that Sarah spent £65,000 on personal trainers who were kept available at all times. According to the book, she reportedly used their services only twice in a single year. This allegation became a clear symbol of what critics described as uncontrolled spending, especially while her debts were rapidly increasing. The final rumor suggests that Sarah's affairs were not hidden quietly, but happened openly in a way that caused serious embarrassment for the royal household. It has long been said that both Sarah and Andrew were involved in relationships outside their marriage. Later reports claimed that Sarah's connection with John Bryant went beyond what was considered acceptable even by royal standards. Those reports alleged that Sarah invited Bryant into Andrew's private study at Royal Lodge after Andrew had already gone to bed. This claim shocked palace staff and strengthened the belief that boundaries within the marriage had fully broken down. Many critics have pointed to a pattern of relationships, including earlier claims involving Texas millionaire Steve Wyatt and other unnamed men she was said to have met during trips abroad. While some of these stories were denied or minimized at the time, the repeated rumors created the impression that the marriage had effectively become open long before the divorce became public. For critics, these accounts support the idea that Sarah felt increasingly untouchable and acted in ways that would have been unthinkable for most members of the royal family, especially inside a royal residence. These are the 8 rumors that continue to follow Sarah Ferguson. Some stretch back many decades, while others are linked to more recent events. Some are backed by documents and direct statements, while others remain unresolved allegations. Which of these do you believe matters the most, and which do you think has been exaggerated over time? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy royal family stories, be sure to subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Thank you for watching.